Hey, it's Vanessa with Nova Careers. Have you ever thought about becoming an administrative professional? Most people think this job is just about answering phones, but there's so much more to it. Today we're talking with Patti, who has spent over 40 years building a successful career supporting leaders, managing projects, and helping organizations run smoothly. Let's hear what she has to say. And hello, I'm Vanessa with Nova Careers. Today I'm on with Patti. Patti, can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do, please?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Patti Holine, and I am an administrative assistant for a local utility company here in Phoenix, Arizona.
And you said an administrative assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Back in the
Usually
day when I first started, it was a secretary,
Okay.
and then it was an administrative assistant, and now they're administrative professionals or admins, as they're called in my company.
Okay. And so you work for a local utility company. How long have you
Correct.
been doing this?
Well, I've been an admin for going on 40 plus years, and I have been working for this company for almost 15 years.
Almost 15. Oh, okay. So how did you get into this position, or how did you start as an admin even 40 years ago?
Well, I actually was on a path to college, and at the last minute, changed my mind about that. And then I started out as a receptionist at a car dealership here in town. That was my first coming into kind of a corporate life. And then so when I just went from a receptionist to doing some more admin duties. And then as I went to different companies, started out just like an entry level admin. And through the years and several different places of working, I worked up to kind of an executive level admin, what people might call C-suite admins. I did that. I was also a manager for several years of a group of admins, but then I'm not a manager type person. I'm a worker. And
Okay.
that's how I did it. And then at where I work now, actually started there as a contract worker and then got hired on there after about 6 months.
Okay. I was going to say, how did you get in? But you said a
I actually went through
C-suite.
a recruiter. I went through a
Okay.
recruiter.
And that's how you got the job at
Yeah,
where you're
the place
currently
where
at.
I work,
Okay.
it's hard to get in. It's hard to get in there, especially in a administrative role.
Okay.
The jobs there are hard to get. A lot of times they take them from within.
Yeah.
Folks from call center or jobs like that, they fill them from within. So I felt very fortunate to have gotten the job. So I know it's hard to
Right.
get in.
Yeah. So this is a job where you could start in the call center and work your way up.
It's how probably 80 of the admins who work there get an admin position there.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So
they're very
it
open
is a
to
great opportunity.
having people, yeah, get the experience, which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome. You had said something about a C-suite. What is
Yeah,
that?
that's executive levels like CEOs or
Okay.
CFOs or presidents of companies like that. Back in the olden days, they used to call it mahogany row. I still kind
Okay.
of joke about that. But yeah, like the highest level of folks in the company, they're admins. That would be like a C-suite or a senior corporate level admin.
Okay. All right. I had a question for you. Let's see. What does your typical day look like? Like what are your tasks?
I feel like every day can be different because I support a department. I support the director of I work in a technology group for water business in our state. And so we have a director and then a manager team and then about 50 plus employees and contractors in that group. So my day can always be different, but I do everything from mostly calendars, email, facilitating meetings with regards to setup and catering and making sure all of that facilitation is ready. It's a support position definitely for that group of people and fill in back up other admins in our group as needed. So
Okay.
it can be different every day. But
Oh
those are
yeah.
the main tasks that I do on a daily basis.
So you're really just supporting, really you're probably the backbone,
Well,
supporting that whole
yeah.
team. You have like a team that you
Yes.
work with.
Yep. A team of engineers, developers, analysts, managers, they're technology folks. So
Okay.
very smart in the technology world.
Right. So then in your company, are there several different admin, like several different people in your position, but in different departments and such?
Yes, we have
Okay.
several hundred admins probably across
Wow.
the entire company because we have a lot of different locations
Mm-hmm.
in Phoenix area,
Okay.
Mesa and Tempe and West Valley and that kind of thing. But yeah, we have several hundred admins, and all of the admins in my company do generally the same tasks, but then specific to that particular department.
Right.
If they're marketing or if they're finance or purchasing or technology like me.
Okay. And you said catering, so it's like when the people get together, then if they're having a meeting or something, then you need to make sure that they are getting their food or whatever they're.
Right. So
Okay.
yeah, catering, yeah. There's, I think between calendaring, most of my work comes through email and shoulder tap. We call shoulder tap. Someone walks up and asks for something, or
Okay.
through instant messaging, Teams, for example.
Okay.
Those would be the ways that my work is generated. So between Outlook and calendar and catering and the everyday, just different, well, I wouldn't say catering, meeting facilitation
Okay.
from a support standpoint. Those would be the highest points things that I probably do with the most regularity.
Gotcha. So a lot of your day is spent like you're looking at those emails and seeing what your tasks are going to be for the day and
Yes. In
who
addition
needs it.
to, it can feel a little bit like a hairdresser / bartender / administrative assistant, just being kind of that person, that go-to person.
Mhm.
That's a big part of the job also, is just being like a contact for people. I don't know, but I think Patty will know. I'll ask her. So there's a lot of that as well.
You get to you have to know it all.
A little bit, you do, and it's I've said through the years, you may not know how to do the task, but you know who to ask,
Right.
and that's a big
Yeah.
skill that's important in the kind of work that
Right.
I do. Is to build a network for backup, for questions, for help with tasks, whatever they are. Yeah, networking is a big important part of my role. The admins are like a tribe.
Makes sense. Yeah. And I'm sure they just love their admins because it's like you
They
are their
do.
go-to person. And yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have that network. So if you don't know the answer, you know where to find it, or you can reach out to
Yes.
someone.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So you said that you were on a college path and that you got this job through a recruiter. So you don't necessarily need a college education, or you've been doing this for 15 years. Has
You
this changed at all?
you absolutely do not need a college degree to do this job. There are admins that get professional certifications,
Okay.
there are admins who have college degrees, but you certainly do not need a college degree to be an admin. There are many levels of administrative professional person, depending on what the company's requirements are. So
Okay.
it could be very simple, answering phones or greeting people, or up to, being a frontline person for a CEO of a company and everything in between.
Right. And that's a good place to start even as a teenager, is to get those jobs, like a receptionist job, and you
Yes.
can build those skills. And a lot of times they're looking at years of experience. So even if you have a couple years, you just kind of keep working your way up, right?
Yes. Yes. And I think getting in with I've worked at little offices and very large offices, and just each requires their own different kind of experiences and will give you different kinds of experiences. So there's value in both. And depending on what your work style is and what your personality is,
Yeah.
I tend to have an outgoing personality, not afraid to really talk to people, but not everyone is like that. And I think you could be a very successful admin in a very small office where it's quiet too. I think you can find that the work is generally the same. It's the business that you support and what interests you, and that would be the differentiator, really.
I was going to ask if you needed to be an outgoing person, but you're saying it depends on what work environment is.
Yeah, and I think it certainly doesn't hurt if it's a skill that because there's networking that's really important to being successful. So I think the willingness to step out there a little bit if you are a quieter person or introverted more person, there's value in building the network. So I think that would be a skill you probably would want to work on over time,
Right. And that's
just for your
definitely
own
something,
to help you in the long run.
right. It's definitely something you can, even an introverted, someone who would say they're introverted could still be successful. They just have to be
Sure.
willing to,
Yes. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
that's awesome. So let me see. Is this, well, you said you were on the career path. So what did you want to be when you were in high school?
It's funny because you want I think there's always a dreamy answer to that, whatever you don't really know, and I didn't really know. I wasn't one of those people that was on a super directed path of, I know I want to be a scientist. I know I want to be a doctor, or I didn't have that. And so I was scheduled to go to a 4-year university, and I had no idea what I really wanted to do. And so stepped away from that. And you go back and forth on whether or not that was the right decision, but I feel like there was a plan for my life, and at that time I didn't really know what it was, but I definitely work in a role that plays to my strengths, and so it was the right thing that happened at the time.
Right. Yeah. I understand that. I did not know when after I graduated what I wanted to be. There was nothing that I could even, now I can look back and see things where I'm like, and it's kind of why I do Nova, because I think had I known that was actually a career, I might have followed that path. Our
Yeah, I
lifestyle
think
would
that a
not
lot
have
too.
allowed it.
Yeah, I think that a lot too. Like, oh, if I would have had maybe some mentorship or leadership in that direction, I might have gone toward that because I am interested in that or this or that. But
Right.
again, I do feel my personality is suited to this role that I'm in. And so it works for me.
Right. And you've been doing it basically for 40 years. And so you must enjoy it. And also I do think that you've made a good life out of it. So there's that too. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's some specific things. You didn't ask me this, but I think a passion for service, I think, is really an important part of this job, that you care about making people look their best
Right.
and supporting them to be successful. And so that sort of servant heart mentality, that servantness, I think is probably paramount to this
I love,
role over anything. And organizational skills, because there are multiple hats, many hats every day, all the time. And there can be. And so being able to be flexible and pivot and multitask and all those kinds of things. And again, those are skills honed over time,
right.
certainly. But
Yeah.
the base of it, of feeling value in supporting others and serving others, I think will help you to be more successful in this role over time.
I love that. I love that you said like helping others look their best, or
Yeah,
just that's great. Because it's so much, we're in a world where there's so much about us, but your role is very important because your company is successful if the people that you are supporting are successful. And so it's so important. I love that you said that. Yeah. And I usually do ask, so, what skills would be needed, what person would be good at this. And so being a servant and having the ability to multitask and pivot.
yeah.
I'm
I feel
kind
like those are the two biggest.
Yeah.
That desire for service, and then being able to wear multiple hats, do
Mm,
multiple things, pivot quickly, know
right.
who to ask, those kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely sounds like there's some great skills that you've developed. And like you said, you can develop them over time. But and I'm sure it changes from company to company that you've worked with, like the tasks,
Sure.
but those are kind of the core things that are necessary. But you get in and then you learn what
Mhm.
the certain company, how it really runs and what you need to do there.
Yeah. And you're not going to support the same. Everyone's different. Everyone's leadership style is different.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, so every boss is different. And so another part of the job is learning to adapt. Not everyone is nice. Not everyone is a good leader. And so there are great leaders. I've
Mm-hmm.
worked for some really great leaders in my career, and others who were great at what they do, but their leadership skills maybe could have been better, their people skills could have been better,
Right.
or their time management skills could have been better. So those are things too that you learn over time that just make you better as an admin, being able to adapt to whatever the leader is that you're supporting at that time.
That's
That's
awesome.
a really that's one is learned over time for sure.
Right. And it sounds like you really, like going back to the supportive part, you really need to be able to learn about that leader and really adapt your ways
Hmm.
to best support them. And probably there's a lot of times where you need to not take things personal because they're just,
It's been a growth
that's the
opportunity for
personality.
me. It has been a
Yes.
growth opportunity for me in that arena.
Yeah.
As to whatever the type of work that they do, if it's a very heads down kind of work, that doesn't give a whole lot of opportunities for the admin to learn about the business. The more you know, the better you can support. So there's not always that opportunity, but the great ones are the ones when you're like, run in here and learn this with me. Let's do it.
Right.
Let's
Yeah.
I want you involved in it so that the more you know, the better we are. And those are great.
Right.
Those are
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. That makes sense. What would you say is your favorite part of the job?
Definitely the people interaction. And
Yeah.
I'm a people person. And so the relationships that are built, I think is my favorite part. Just being able to help people, it makes me feel valued to have someone say, I don't know what I would do without you. You always are ready. You always have this. You always know what I need. That is very fulfilling for me. So some people are fulfilled by moving up in the company. For me, what I get more fulfilled by is helping people,
I was gonna
helping
say
others. So like
you're
that's
such
my
a
favorite part.
helper.
That's my
Yeah.
favorite part, honestly. Because I could type all day and I could schedule meetings all day and all that, but it's the people piece that I love the most.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're definitely a great helper. Your heart. I mean, I know you personally and I know your heart. So you're
Thank you.
definitely a helper
Thanks,
and a
Miss.
servant. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
what is your least favorite part of the job then?
I think when it gets in high pressure, which it will, inevitably it gets in high pressure. I kind of just like the even flow and it does have that. And I function best in that environment when it gets hot and fiery and there's a lot happening and things are changing. Technology isn't working in a meeting room and this and that and food didn't show up or the presentation won't come up on the screen. Oh, and it's all happening at once. That's my least favorite part. I don't handle the chaos really well. So when it can get chaotic, and it can, that's
Mm-hmm.
life. That's the
Right.
hardest part for me. That's the hardest part. And I would also secondarily say having a manager or boss or leader, whichever word you want to put on it, that doesn't see the value in having their admin learn about business and they just kind of keep that distance. That's hard for me. Because
Yeah.
I want to, if I want to learn and grow and do and be a good support person, I can't do that if I don't know the business.
Right. Yeah.
So that separation, pardon me, is another part that I really don't like.
Right.
But
Yeah.
everyone's different again, so you have to adapt kind of to those
Adapt to
situations.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And like you said before, it's easier when they do bring you in so that you can best support them when you know how to best support.
And the better you know them,
Yeah.
what their style is, then you're just going to be more successful. Yeah.
So do you mostly work alone or do you work in a team? I mean, I
Well,
know
I
you talked
support
about
that
there's a
team,
team, but
so it is it's more of work for a department. So there are a team of admins, but we don't support each other unless we're backing each other up, for example. So I do work for a group of total 65 plus people or so,
okay.
but like I'm kind of a team of one
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
look at it that way.
Yeah.
I have different groups within our whole team. There's different groups, all kind of with the umbrella of technology, and I support them collectively. So we have a group of admins, but we're not really. It's not like being on a development team where they're all working toward the same thing. It's a
Right.
support of a whole group with
So,
different needs. If that makes
yeah.
sense.
Yep. Yeah. So there's, like we kind of said earlier, it's like you are overseeing or are in charge of this area, but there's a group of admins, but they all have their own separate areas.
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
So do you work from home? Are you remote? Or you work in the office? How does that work?
Well, I've been doing this job a long time, this type of role a long time. And so back in the day, the admin sat right outside the boss's door. And that was the model. And through the years, I worked in places where you didn't work in the same even office as the person you supported because they were at a client or a customer, or they traveled a lot. So then it kind of became a more hybrid environment. I was in the office every day, but that didn't mean the executive was in the office every day. And then we came to 2020 and life changed, and our entire company got, minus a few people, got sent to work from home full time.
Okay.
And it was such a culture shock for me. I didn't know how to be an admin, not right outside the door or not in the office every day. And I would sit at my computer at my dining room table because I didn't have an office. I still had my kids living at home back then. And I would just stare at the computer all day, like someone's going to email me, someone's going to ask me for something. Like I just was glued to it, right? So it was a definite adjustment for me to not be right outside the door. But I also learned that I loved that remote work environment.
Yeah.
And we learned how to make that environment work, and we were successful at doing it. And so now I work 2 days a week in the office and 3 days from my home office. And I really love it. I love it. I learned how to make life and work mix in a day where I can be at home and work and be still successful, which I love this environment so much.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I mean, you are a people person, so I bet like going fully remote for a while was probably tricky too.
It was at first, because I'm used to being around the people that are giving me the work. So
Right.
it was an adjustment in that way, but it also taught me about who your people are. I want to be careful how I say it. Who your tribe is, who your people are, and your coworkers are important people in your life. But for me personally, those what I call COVID years
Yeah.
taught me that my work people aren't my core support system of people for my life. And it taught me the healthy separation of work-life balance. Where does your work stop and where does your life start? And how the two intermingle.
That's good. Yeah,
It
that
was a
makes sense,
valuable
though,
lesson
too.
for me.
Good. So, would you say there's any skills that someone who might be interested in like this career path, any skills that they could learn now or?
Well, I think it's a different generation than when I started, and the generations after me have skills that would benefit this role before they even ever kind of really know they have them. The online networking, that's wasn't a skill that was even available to us back in the day. So they already have that skill, so good for them.
Right.
They're going to have all the computer skills, right? They're going to have
Right.
computer skills that we didn't have because, I'm old, but we had a typewriter. And when computers
Right.
first came on the scene, big learning curve for me, but that's a given for
Right.
young people now. So I think if I was going to pick one, I think develop some people skills because their technology side of their experience is almost a given for them now.
Right.
I think, but people skills is not a given for them now. The technology world for them it isn't the same because they can do everything online. So, but in my role, you will need them. You'll need the people skills. So I think that's a valuable one that would not have maybe been talked about back in the day. It was just a given because you were there.
Right.
But now people are not there. So I think adaptability skills, and I'm not really, that's to me what I would call a soft skill versus learning to type. But adaptability, I think some of it is inherent, but I think you can learn it. And to build that skill of, can I switch hats and how do I respond to that? And how can I still get the work done when I get interrupted for this and then interrupted for that and interrupted for this? And oh, by the way, I still have to go back to the first thing and get that work done. So there is a lot of that in my role. So I think those multitasking skills would be good ones to build.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense because, and what you were saying too about the people skills, even if you're working remote, you still need to be able to communicate with.
Yeah, and you still have to be on camera a lot of
Yeah.
times, and
Meetings.
you
Yeah.
still have to interact with every level of professional. And so having those kinds of human skills are good to have.
Yeah.
They'll
I mean,
never serve you wrong.
no, it's good for life as well. Just
It
life
is.
in general. Yeah.
I agree. It is.
All right. I have a few questions, but these are kind of easy ones.
Okay.
So, what was the first job you ever had?
The first job I ever had was I worked in a little ice cream shop in a little mall in Phoenix. And yeah, I didn't work there for a very, very long time, but I was an ice cream scooper. That was my first job
Ice
I
cream
ever had.
scooper. I had that job when I was in college, and I felt like I was Popeye on one
Long
hand from
forearms.
scooping.
Yeah.
Yeah, forearm. Yeah. What's one career you wouldn't want to do?
Any kind of career that has to do with any kind of accounting or finance. I am not a math person at all. And I did have a leader at one stage of my career that said, Patty, math and accounting are not the same. I'm like, but in my mind, they are. Like, I'm just not good at being in accounting or finance or those types of things. I'm lucky to have a spouse that's good at that. So he submit to his skills in that arena, but any kind of a math or accounting job would not be the job for me.
That's not your area.
It is not my area of fun or expertise.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm a math person, so don't ask me to write things. I don't
No.
like
And
writing.
we'd be a good team because I do like that
Yes.
part.
We could pair well together,
We could.
complement each other. And then what advice would you give your 16-year-old self or a 16-year-old listening to this?
I think I would say find something that you like to do that you are also good at. You might like to draw, but if you're not a good artist, probably not the best way for you to choose a career path on that. Keep it as something you love to do, but not something you want to be paid to do. If they match and you are good at it and you can get paid to do it, well done you.
Yeah.
I think pick something that you like and see if you can investigate if you could have something that you're passionate about be a career for you. And I don't know. I think that's a kind of a deep answer for a 16-year-old self because a 16-year-old probably doesn't think a lot of times past 6 months from now or a year from now or tomorrow,
Right.
and they have that opportunity because they're young.
Yeah.
So, but I definitely think look into, investigate things you care about that could possibly be a career for you
I love
and
that.
see if you could match the two.
Yeah, I love that because now, especially with the internet, which we didn't have when I was looking for careers, but yes, if you find something that you like and that you're passionate about, go out and research the heck out of it and just
Yeah.
try to find all the different jobs that are out there and figure out how you can like make that align, like you said.
Yeah. And I also think too, if you know someone, like if part of your passion involves knowing other people that are passionate about whatever it is, talk to them. Build some kind of a mentorship with people who have a career in something that you're interested in and talk to them about it. I think like you said earlier, it can be a very siloed culture now where you're just you for you and it's all only you and, whatever. You can do life without a whole lot of human interaction. But I think there's value in talking to people about what you're interested in and have them tell you, yes, you could make a very great career at this or be prepared to eat ramen for the rest of your life, but love what you do. I think it depends. In my life was not driven by making a ton of money. I needed to like what I was doing and feel valued. And so for me, that could come in different ways than a person who says, my goal is to be a CEO in life in this arena. And that would look different than what I would do. So, but I do think talking to people who do the things that you are interested in and see if a career could be built from that would be something I would suggest.
Right. Yeah. That's great advice. And two, I think some people on here have said shadow, which I never even think about, but ask people if they'd be willing to let you shadow them for a day.
I
And
love that idea.
I think we can definitely get out of our comfort zone a little bit to find that. I mean, it's worth it, right?
Yeah. And even if you think that you're interested in a certain area, I think shadowing is great because then you have the opportunity to see it real time in real life and take those opportunities if you can get them.
Yeah. Well, I want to say thank you for being on here today, Patty,
Thank you
and
for
thank you so
having
much.
me.
I think that you were a wealth of information, and I just love hearing about different careers that, even may seem normal, but we still don't think about it. Like there's administrative assistants everywhere and so many businesses, and we just don't even think about it. It's a legitimate career. Like
It is.
people
It
don't
is a
think about that.
legitimate career.
Yeah. So,
I had a friend say to me just earlier today, you have skills that I do not, and I wish that I had them. And sometimes people can think that a secretary or an admin job, it can be mundane, and I think but any job can be at times. And if you have those kinds of skills, pursue it and see where it takes you. It could take you into any kind of company and any kind of position anywhere in the world. And if you have the basic skills, you could work anywhere and learn a lot about all different kinds of companies all over.
right. And I think there are a lot of opportunities for online roles.
Sure.
So, yeah,
Sure.
if people are interested in that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you so
again
much,
for being on.
Vanessa.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thanks for watching Nova Careers. If this interview helped you discover a new possibility, make sure to subscribe for new career conversations every Thursday. And remember, you can't dream what you've never seen.